That we had a very warm welcome and you hosted us last night with that banquet. So, Your Excellency, I want to first speak from experience before I can deliver what I may call an official statement from Botswana. You see, when you talk about something that really affects you, that you lived, that you continue to live, sometimes it's very important to give an experience. You don't speak like someone who is from outside. You talk like someone who is living that thing, talking from the heart. So the Kaza, as we know it, the great river, the Makgadikgadi, the depressions, the big fall, as we have said it, the great floods from Angola along this river, the great parks that we have, animals that we have, the good soils that have sustained our people. When we talk about sustaining our people, we mean the real poor people who lived this life along these great environments. So I'm talking from experience because in my constituency, I've lived this. I'm a member of parliament for a constituency that covers the whole part of Kaza in Botswana. Starting from Makalamabedi, I share it with the Mahung MPs, of course, and there are a number of constituencies that are affected in my area. About almost 10 constituencies are covered by the Kaza. So, which means when you look for a vote, you have to look for a vote to make a government in Botswana, mainly from the Kaza area. You get your vote. So I live in that area because even in my area in Botswana, we have got two different areas. There are those who were born and brought up in Gaborone. They may know or have little experience of the Kaza as compared to those who were brought up in the rural areas, especially along the Kaza area. So
área de Kaza. Portanto, eu sei.
So, I remember and I lived in the Kaza area, so I'm talking from experience. What I wanted to say, which I want to buttress, probably one of the two things that His Excellency Dr. Hichelema has pointed out, was about conservation. Yes, when I lived along this area, as I was brought up, I was told there are certain plants which we need not to cut during winter. One of them, Ibiduam, I don't have the scientific name for it. You don't cut those plants during winter. When I was brought up, I was told that there are certain animals, but in particular, with reference to myself, I was told you don't eat this animal. You don't eat it. So, totems is part of our culture. You don't eat certain animals. Those who are in a certain area, Bakatla, the different tribes, there are certain animals that they don't eat. And those animals are preserved in that case, because those people will not touch those animals. So conservation in our culture is something that we lived. It's something that is part of our livelihoods. Then we have the livelihoods of the rural people. As we grew up, we knew that the people in our area, they depended on wildlife. They lived side to side with wildlife. They also depended on plowing. They depended on certain plants in the area. So all this is what we want to protect today and preserve so that those people can have sustainable livelihoods. Unfortunately, I want to be a little bit, bring a radical view here. One of the radical views that I want to bring here is that it's personal. It's not from the government or anything. I've realized that much as we fight poverty in the rural areas, poverty persists. It is very stubborn. It continues to be there. It grows. But when you reflect on it, when you look at some of the policies that we make, Kaza being included, when you look at reflect on some of the issues that we are dealing with today, you find that we are doing that for the poor people, we are doing that for the rural areas, people who are living there, who are living in poverty. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't represent fully their views, because at some times, if they were to be here, if this summit was about the poor people, I'm sure the recommendations that they will bring up here will be quite different, probably from what we will have reached as we reflect on these things. So I want to live my life and one day experience a summit of the poor, to reflect on the policies that we have as government, national government, to reflect on some of the things that we say we are bringing up so that we protect and sustain their livelihoods and have their views. That was just to preface my remarks. Having said that, without wasting time, I want to say, I would like to begin by pointing out that the Kaza TFCA initiative is one of the great initiatives within the SADC region that acts to emphasize regional cooperation in the fields of tourism, biodiversity conservation. This initiative is a shining example of how regional cooperation can benefit not only the environment but also the economies of our member states. I commend the efforts of all involved and hope to see Kaza TFCA continue to flourish. The summit, as we have already heard from previous speakers, serves as a crucial opportunity to reaffirm commitments by partner state governments to this remarkable initiative that we have been developing since 2006, when the Memorandum of Understanding for the establishment of the TFCA was signed. Your Excellencies, before getting to the theme of the day, let me assure you that Botswana remains firmly committed to the Kaza TFCA initiative, as epitomized by our volunteering to host the Secretariat, getting land of it, as it has been mentioned, as well as not only stopping that far. Just a few days ago, we were passing or discussing a CAB memo to deal with diplomatic benefits of those officers of the Kaza Secretariat. So very soon they will get their diplomatic, yes. We have passed that memo, they will get their diplomatic rights which they were aspiring for. The theme for this summit, leveraging Kaza's natural capital and cultural heritage resources as catalysts for inclusive socio-economic development of the eco-region, resonates deeply with Botswana's National Transformation Plan. Our plan prioritizes 8 sectors for development. Within it, we have tourism at the forefront, and this is what we are dealing with. A thriving Kaza TFCA, with its abundant wildlife and cultural richness, presents a significant opportunity to attract more tourists to our region. Botswana is committed to working closely with our partner states to unlock Kaza's full potential and ensure its inclusive economic development across the eco-region. And we have just heard from His Excellency that we must position ourselves as a destination of tourism. Yes, of course, in Botswana we have that motto of Botswana, our pride, your destination, including the tourists. So it will be Kaza in this place to be a destination of tourism. To capitalize on these opportunities, Botswana has developed a national tourism strategy and master plan 2021. This plan strategically positions 4 of our 8 tourism development areas within the Kaza TFCA. We are also working to enhance our tourism offerings with strong focus on local community inclusion. This is not only to ensure that economic benefits are shared, but also to foster a sense of ownership and pride in our natural heritage. You know, just to indicate one thing, when Kaza started, it's not that people were properly consulted in my area. I know it made a lot of people, especially those who are within the Kaza area, to be very uncomfortable. Some were asking themselves, what is it? Are they taking our plots, our cattle posts, or what? There were so many stories. So, but with time, we tried to do a lot of public education. Now they accept, they know what Kaza is all about. It is to their benefit. Some of them, they are benefiting even from the programs that they were not very much attracted to, the CBRM policies and programs, because of the sensitization by Kaza. And some of them, they are even invited to some areas to go and meet with other people from other places. So that in its own, a lot of people in our Kaza area, they are very much aware of what Kaza is all about. Your Excellencies, the theme speaks to harnessing our natural capital and cultural heritage for economic development. In this regard, we are pleased to share Botswana's success with community-based natural resource management. Our CBNRM model empowers local communities living alongside wildlife to participate in its management and share the accruing benefits. This has resulted in increased household incomes and improved infrastructure in villages bordering wildlife areas. We are confident that a strong CBNRM framework across the Kaza region will not only empower communities, but also contribute to the TFCA's long-term sustainability by fostering a sense of stewardship among those who call this eco-region home, because it's our home, as we have rightly indicated. We recently, 2022, passed the Access and Benefit Sharing of Biological Diversity Act, which aims to ensure that the people get fair and equal benefits from revenue and any other sharing arising from it. Your Excellencies, in addition to our CBRM initiatives, we award hunting quotas to community-based organizations. That is what we've been doing. That is what we are doing. I think His Excellency spoke to it very clearly when it comes to sustainable use of the resources, which some people mistake it for recklessness or not good use of our resources. As we have said, we have lived with these animals the longest, and we have been very kind, and we've been looking after them even before all these other organizations were in place. So we have the trust. We would want to continue to live and also look after our animals. I think culling is also part of management, because these animals will not look after themselves. It's us who must look after themselves and use them sustainably. That's what we want to do. But you know, when you don't do that, there will be no ownership of these animals. The people will not take ownership of these animals. As is known to most of you, there are those who seek to detract us. Let me not go into that one, because it has been very clear, and it has been very lucidly said by His Excellency. Your Excellencies, in keeping with the summit's theme of inclusive socio-economic development, We recently passed the Economic Inclusion Act, which dictates that there needs to be a significant percentage of Botswana local citizens in any venture before we allocate any resource to it. We apply this to our allocation of business, land, tourism, concessions, and even tender allocations. So we have passed an act of an inclusive act, so where you consider your citizens before you could consider other people in terms of allocating the resources, the critical resources. So I don't think that, I think this can be done by all other people in our region. The Kaza TFCA is a great initiative, as I've said, and like any grand endeavor, it comes with own set of challenges. The challenges have been said, we have read it. Our success in conservation has led to thriving wildlife populations. However, this also means our citizens must share their living space with these animals and forests that they also regard as home. This proximity, or this approximately often leads to conflicts such as elephants raiding crops and lions preying on livestock. We are taking heed of His Excellency's remarks that we sometimes encroach in animal areas. We have seen that settlements growing all over the place, even on the routes of migrating animals. So in our area, the most migratory animals are the zebras. They have their roots. So we are even declaring some of the places as zebra, the makadikadi, as the zebra's homes. They normally migrate along those areas. But as we know, it's very difficult sometimes. People have choice to where they want to build their kraals, where they want to make their borehole. You know, they apply for any land that they want, and they are allocated land. But we must be mindful of how we disturb some of these corridors. So I think as Kaza, we will continue to educate people. This coexistence results in human-wildlife conflict, but we need to have a peaceful coexistence policy with the animals. That will help us. But as I've said, a lot has been said. Let me not take a lot of your time, although I could have said more. I was just wanting to share our experience with you. The other comment is that of, what do you call it, the visa the uni visa. No, I don't know why we are so behind, because the way we are so committed to this thing here, I don't believe the story. Maybe we're not informed properly. But I'm telling you, Your Excellencies, I promise you, it will be done like yesterday. I can assure you, knowing my president, it will be done like yesterday. Thank you very much.
I am honored to join this important summit, which aims to review and track the progress made since the establishment of the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area through the founding treaty way back in 2011. From the outset, I would like to thank our gracious host, His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, for the warm welcome and generous hospitality accorded to the Namibian delegation since our arrival in this picturesque town of Livingstone, Zambia. I also commend Your Excellency for the splendid arrangements for this conference. We are keen to share our experiences and efforts in leveraging natural capital and cultural heritage resources to promote socio-economic development and in a sustainable manner. To this extent, The summit's theme perfectly aligns with our strategies, plans, and vision for a green economy, which encourages balanced economic development while safeguarding the environment. As we know, the Kavango-Zambezi Transfer Conservation Area is an important regional conservation and development program that also seeks to use sustainable tourism to promote rural development in the participating countries. Its ambition is to foster sustainable utilization of the natural resources, as well as promoting stewardship and generating benefits for the communities living in the areas encompassing the Kavango and Zambezi landscape. The progress we have achieved to date through this program is laudable. Namibia has made significant strides towards protecting fragile ecosystems. Presently, 44% of our country's total surface area is classified as protected areas. Conservancies, tourism concession areas, and game farms in line with our environmental conservation laws. Namibia's continued conservation program is comprised of 86 registered conservancies and 43 community forests covering 180,000 square kilometers. And in that area, over 227,000 residents. Our success story is rooted in community-based conservation of wildlife, which as a strategy has helped us to unlock the vast potential of our natural resources as a means of empowering our local communities. We are grateful and proud of this achievement. The local community-based institutions referred to as conservancies in turn help to manage our natural resources at the grassroots level in collaboration, naturally, with the government. Through legislation, communities that form conservancies gain management rights over wildlife and tourism concession in our national parks.
So I feel greatly honored and privileged to be here today to attend this Heads of State and Government Summit on the Kavango-Zimbabwe Trans-Frontier Conservation Area, the Kaza TFCA. This summit is running under the theme leveraging Kaza's natural capital and cultural heritage resources as catalysts for inclusive socio-economic development for the eco-region, which is a befitting theme as we seek to develop our economies, our societies, and our peoples. This summit strengthens the legacy that was left behind by the founding fathers of this trans-frontier conservation area, which is aimed at harmonizing policies, strategies, and practices for managing shared resources that straddle across international boundaries. As a result, we can drive equitable socio-economic benefits through sustainable use and development of our natural and cultural heritage resources. This Kavango-Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area, together with other trans-frontier conservation collaborations in the SADC region, are an indication of our unity and regional integration efforts as Southern Africa. It is this spirit of unity which will facilitate continued beneficial cooperation and collaboration among our nations for the betterment of our people. Your Excellencies, I am delighted that the Kaza TFCA has provided us with tools and frameworks to enable us to meet our obligations towards the attainment of our national visions, as well as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Further, the Kaza TFCA has created building blocks for SADC member states to forge closer partnerships as we implement various provisions of the several multilateral environmental agreements between us, such as the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Fauna and Flora, the CITES, and other related protocols which we have signed. In so doing, there is need for convergence on conservation-related matters, taking into account our unique circumstances and approaches to wildlife conservation. Particularly, we must be holistic in the strategies we proffer to address these challenges in the conservation of our elephants, given the bulging populations and the ever-increasing incidences of human-wildlife conflict. The principle of sustainable utilization has been effectively used in our region through the issuance of hunting and management to reduce our elephant population and curtail human-wildlife conflicts. It is regrettable that those who finished their wildlife regulate us who have preserved them. Regrettably, these approaches are being resisted and opposed by some quarters on the global stage. As a region, we have a proud history of wildlife conservation. Among us, we have the largest herd of elephants and other megafauna in the world. This should provide us with an edge in global conservation matters and enable us to create the much-needed benefits for our people.
Africa is calling, and Botswana is ready. Come to Botswana and unwind. Come to Botswana and explore the beauty of our country. When the dust settles, we will be waiting to receive you. Come explore, experience, and enjoy. Botswana, our pride, your destination.
This is us. We like to walk, talk, and dance until the earth shakes. We like to play. After all, our backyard is 75,000 square kilometers of pristine wilderness. At night, we celebrate under the blanket of the stars. And when day rewards night with a beautiful sunrise, we are welcoming Dumela. So come and fall in love with Botswana. Our pride, your destination.
Well, it's just gone 30 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. Expect these stories and more. President Masisi arrived in America to attend the premier JCK Diamond Train Show in Las Vegas.
Ke sone se o bonang tautona a le kwano go simolla hela makupa ka moso o tle ba simolotse ka metseletsele ya ba tle ba nga kopana le bone ba re ba pulagantseng go ra tla kopana le bone go ra nna a bangoke ba tla inyalana le Batswana ba tla dira ka bo bone as long as ba tsisa se re se batlang go Botswana le ditshulelo ba go godisa go Botswana.
The Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, Kaza, TFCA initiative is said to be a shining example of how regional cooperation can benefit the economies of partner states.